Students, I'm Kat McCann.
And I'm Phoebe Miller. Today we'll be celebrating the end of the year by giving you some awesome PSAs about break.
But first, some announcements.
You know what time it is, Hornets? Testing time. Many of you have already taken the Writing Star and Algebra AOC, but there is still more to come throughout this month.
Congratulations, 8th graders. It's been an amazing 3 years. No matter how long you've been here, you'll always be a part of the Hornet family. Make sure you attend the graduation party celebrating your Keeling experience.
Another shout out to all of our Keeling sports and extracurriculars. Thank you, coaches and players, for representing Keeling. Keep making us proud and keep Keeling it. Another shout out to all of our Keeling sports and extracurriculars. Thank you, coaches and players, for representing Keeling. Keep making us proud and keep Keeling it.
Attention incoming 6th graders and 7th graders. In August, there will be an orientation camp for both grades. Most current 6th graders haven't been to in-person, so going to an orientation camp is a great idea.
This summer, there are many fun camps offered by Keeling. This is a great way to meet new people and express interests over summer break. There are tons of cool camps such as creative writing and band and advanced math camp. Remember, not all of these camps are available to everyone, so visit the Keeling Hornet Herald to get more information. Congratulations to KMS Science Olympiad for taking home 2nd place and moving on to the state competition.
Summer is just around the corner.
It's official, school ends June 3rd.
With all this free time, it can be hard to find something safe to do.
Well, here's some safe and fun things to do over summer break.
To do on board, Summer Edition. Number 1, video games. Number 2, baking. Number 3, scrolling through YouTube. Number 4, watching some movies. Number 5, reading a book. Number 6, painting. Sleep. Number 8, board games. Number 9, swimming. Ice cream.
Make sure you turn all of your missing work by the end of the 6 weeks, though.
Yeah, then you can have a relaxed and enjoyable summer.
But make sure to take the proper precautions to stay safe.
Geez, you don't have to be so negative.
I'm serious, you don't want to get hurt.
I guess you have a point. Here are some ways to stay safe.
Expanding the lunch through June.
Speaking of lunches, summer is the perfect time to get your chef's hat on.
From sweet to icy treats to healthy snacks,
break is the perfect time to experiment in the kitchen.
Here are some awesome warm weather recipes.
Everyone knows that summer's coming up, so that means food, recipes, and deliciousness. So here are 5 fun recipes to make during summer break.
COVID has been hard for many of us.
But there are ways to look past this
and recognize the good that has occurred throughout this pandemic.
Mr. President, Dr. Biden, Madam Vice President, Mr. Emhoff, Americans, and the world.
We have therefore made the assessment that COVID-19 can be characterized as a pandemic.
You have no idea where it is.
And kill millions of people because we're not prepared.
We're going to begin with breaking news tonight on the severe weather disaster that is hammering more than 100 million Americans right now. We're ill-prepared ahead of the January 6th Capitol riot. The adult woman reported was in critical condition earlier today. She has now been pronounced dead.
We have a freeze warning in place.
Protests in Minneapolis have been taking place for days before the verdict. A new type of insect has arrived in the U.S. and its sting is strong enough to kill a human. Before Joe Biden is officially the 46th president of the United States.
Found guilty in the death of George Floyd, an African-American man, is Derek Chauvin.
Masks, social distancing, and isolation are key to protecting ourselves. When day comes, we ask ourselves, where can we find light in this never-ending shade?
When you asked me about what was the word that I thought was most indicative of my thoughts of the pandemic in the past year, the very first and only word that came to my mind was enlightening.
I would probably choose devastating.
Unique.
Weird.
I would describe this past year as bittersweet.
Colorado.
My one word is weather.
Bike.
My one word is thankful.
One word that I would use to describe this year is unique.
Conflicting.
The word that I would choose to describe this past year would be tough.
Wee-wee.
I chose my favorite word, which is red.
Simplest one to say would be oops.
Confusing. Bad.
If I were to use one word to describe this crazy year, it would be unexpected.
Lonely.
Bubble.
In my opinion, the word chaotic would best describe this year.
Clarifying. The word I chose was together.
I think the best word I'd use to describe this year would be unexpected.
Confusing.
It's been unique because though there have been some bad things, like not being able to go to school, I've also picked up new hobbies like mountain biking and reading.
I think I would describe this school year unique because it hasn't been good, but it hasn't been bad either.
We were under lockdown for most of the year, and we couldn't see our friends, which would probably make someone feel pretty lonely.
Although I've gotten to spend a lot more time with my family than I usually would be able to, I didn't really get to say goodbye to my friends from last year, and I really haven't had the 8th grade experience that I had wanted to have.
So the reason why I chose devastating as the word to describe 2020 is because, well, COVID being the main one, there was George Floyd, the murder hornets, all the fires that happened, and, well, they took The Office off of Netflix, so, yeah.
The reason I chose that word was because of the social distancing, being away from family and friends and coworkers. It was a year like no other.
It's been good in some ways and bad in some ways, and it's just odd with COVID around, and it's kind of weird and new for everybody.
I chose red because my brothers kept on watching red like all during COVID.
This has been time to really slow down and focus on what matters most, like family, the little things, and all the people who are willing to make sacrifices to keep us safe.
It was definitely different, but I wouldn't say that was necessarily bad.
Due to the difficult circumstances that we had to persevere through or adapt to.
2020 was confusing because we didn't know what was going on. We didn't know how bad coronavirus would be, how sick people would get, when we'd see our family, when we'd see our friends, when I'd be able to get married to your beautiful aunt, when the world would get back to normal. But we're glad we get to see you guys soon.
Honestly, I don't think anybody saw this coming.
With so much hardship going on throughout the country, I am very thankful that the pandemic has had a minimal effect on my family and myself. I reflect on my good fortune in having 5 wonderful children with their families that give us 10 amazing grandchildren. I'm thankful that my daily life goes on smoothly while others endure losses such as loved ones, careers, or life savings. I'm thankful to be so blessed, and I pray that everyone who is experiencing difficulties will have brighter days very soon.
Why I like bubble, 'cause I like bubble. Why do I bike, 'cause I ride bike.
A lot of things happened that we didn't think would happen, like for instance like coronavirus and like, you know, impeachment stuff, you know, all that other stuff.
I got Wee Wee for Christmas during COVID, and she's my favorite stuffed animal. We saw people dying on the TV.
I said conflicting because on the one hand there's the negative, where there was this enormous human toll that was taken in terms of life, livelihood, and just lifestyle and quality of life. On the other hand, my husband and I were fortunate enough to have my daughter and her 3 daughters, our 3 grandchildren, living with us for the year. And that has given us immeasurable joy.
We went up to the snowy mountains of Vail, Colorado for my birthday during COVID.
There was just so many different crazy events that happened during the pandemic, and there was so much uncertainty about like the new school year, the vaccine, new symptoms, what was going to happen next, just in general. So it was just very confusing to me.
It was such a messy year and such a roller coaster that is the easiest, most simplest way to describe one of the most historic years in history.
The weather has been really crazy this year, and if someone's power went out, our whole neighborhood would come together and help each other out as a community, and I thought that was very interesting because the pandemic really brought us together.
It's clear that this past year has been different for everyone. There's been plenty of negative events going on, but also positive ones too. New experiences have come along with 2020 and 2021, plus lots of unforgettable memories have been made. Better to look forward for the future than to worry about the past.
The KNN staff has been putting in tons of effort and time into our 3 KNN programs, KBTV, The Buzz, and The Hive. We want to take a moment to thank our KNN 8th graders moving on to high school.
As a recap of what we watched. We hope these PSAs can help you stay organized and finish the year off strong.
This is Leo from K&N, and today we will show you different ways to help the environment.
Want to help out the school? Keeling PTA is raising money.
I'm your host, Naaman Mishra.
In this jam-packed episode of KBTV,
special interest in Disney in specific or just movies?
Follow the Yellow Brick Road and pick up an application today.
And welcome to the first episode of KBTV Season 5.
There's a lot of interesting stuff happening around the school this week, so let's see what's up.
And I'm Jaden White. This season of KBTV is starting off different than normal.
Welcome to German Exchange Students New to Kill. In the submission box in your ELA class or submit online.
Welcome to the 4th episode of the 3rd season of KBTV. I'm Mackenzie.
That's all we have for today.
Thank you, K&N 8th grade.
Well, that's all we have for you today.
Have a great summer, Hornets.
We'll see you next year on The Buzz!
Pick it up. There we go.